Hello and welcome to another edition of Newspaper Headlines Review on Agate Television. It is the first edition of the year 2025 and we're so glad to have you join us. Remember, you can join us on our social media handles. We're streaming live on YouTube, Agate Television. You can also get us live on our Google www.agateradiotv.com and then you can get to listen to us live, and then you can go to the Google Play Store iOS devices and then download the Agate TV, Agate Radio and TV. And remember, this is a simulcast. By that I mean it is a combination of radio and television. You can listen to us also on 95.5 megahertz. My name is Fanen Kwano. It's so good to have you join us on this edition of the program. All right, so joining us on the program is a very big analyst who has always been here with us. It's been a while we've heard from him, but he's back with us in the studio after the break and all that.
So, yes, Father, thank you. My name is Teve Akase, and I'm always happy to be here. Look at issues, national and at state and even local government levels.
All right, so Akase, you took a break, and how was last year? Let's start from there. How was last year economically, in every aspect of, the politics, leadership and everything? How was it like last year?
Well, the year 2024 came with its ups and downs, and like every other year, it has come and gone, and we're hoping that this year, 2025, will be better. A lot of things happened, some good, some not quite pleasant. But we're here, and we thank God for life. We thank God that we have made it to the year 2025. We are hoping that the economy will be better. The authorities have told us that year 2025 will be better. We have looked at the budget of the president and state governors, and we are hoping that Nigerians will have a better deal this year, 2025.
All right, Nigerians, we have a better deal this year, 2025. What that brings us to our first paper of the edition, and we're talking about the Punch newspaper, or the Punch newspaper will be the first paper of the edition. And then this special edition of the program, the first in the year. All right, and the Punch comes with this one. APC tackles obedience as Obi alleges threats to life. We are beginning on politics. APC tackles obedience as Obi alleges threats to life. And then with the rider, Obi playing politics of bitterness, says APC, Nigeria transforming into repressive regime as governor. All right, above the nameplate, we have retirement top generals to get $20,000 medical allowance, bulletproof SUV and others. OAGF indicts NLPCL in 514 billion transactions. Trump proposes US-Canada merger as Trudeau resigns. All right, and we have a court clash. Ayedatiwa declares curfew as mother, baby, ex-youth leader, others killed. 33 ex-workers sue CBN over sacking demand 30 billion naira. JAM generated 22.9 billion remitted, and then 6 billion naira to federal government board. Woman who calls Sheyi Tinubu IG gets 10 million naira bail. And the EFCC sacks 27 corrupt officers, probes $400,000 fraud complaint. All right, so those are some of the headlines we have in the Punch newspaper this morning. So we're starting with this New Year message. APC tackles obedience as Obi alleges threat to life. Chief Akase, we were talking about one thing here. I think that time around it was about Atiku Abubakar. And we had said it was high time for him to have rested and, allow the president focus on leadership and then minimize the criticisms and then the blame games and all that. So now it has also, the focus has been shifted to Peter Obi. So APC tackles obedience as he alleges threat to life.
Well, Kwanum, I don't think there is any country in the world where criticism is forbidden. See, the very day that critics stop saying what should be said, then the society is gone. Because those who are in authority, those who are in government, will see themselves as lords who are untouchable, who are not approachable. Opposition is is supposed to be the conscience of the government. The opposition, yes, sometimes the opposition elements may go a bit beyond the limits, but even in the United States, in the UK, in all countries of the world where leadership works, opposition is allowed. So for anyone to say Peter Obi or Atiku Abubakar or any other person, when I said what I said, I was just saying, look, Atiku should leave this idea of saying he must be president. That was what I said. But in terms of criticizing the government constructively, that is permissible, that is allowed anywhere in the world. Because the very day you say people should not have a say in what is happening around them, in what their government is doing, then you have muzzled the voice of reason. Now, it is quite unfortunate, and I expect that the federal government, the presidency, will caution the spokesman for the APC. And I mean the national spokesman for the APC. He had no reason whatsoever, he has no powers whatsoever to take on Peter Obi the way he did. And it wasn't even a mild threat. It was a threat that Peter Obi has crossed the line. No, Peter Obi did not cross the line. I read Obi's New Year message, and it was crystal clear. He commented on the policies of this government. He made his views known. He is a presidential candidate, 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party. And until the Labour Party produces another presidential candidate, Peter Obi remains the standard bearer of the Labour Party, and he is one of the leading. There were three in the last elections, presidential elections: Peter Obi, Tinubu, and Atiku. They were the three main contenders. Now the other two, one of them won, and that's Asiwaju Tinubu. So the other two are supposed to form the opposition, which they are doing. The only area that I disagree with Atiku is when he insists that in 2027 he should still be the candidate of the PDP. That is a different matter for another day. But in terms of criticizing this government and making constructive suggestions, like Peter Obi did, that is allowed, even in the United States, even in Britain. That is because when you don't allow the voice of reason into governance, then in fact the government should even be and sit with them and say, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to be the first line of opposition to this government. And what he meant was that be the first line of criticism for this government. If we are doing the right thing, tell us. But I want to hear that which we are not doing correctly, so that we will correct ourselves. That is what a leader does. Now, you go to the states, you find the same thing. In recent days, the Benue State government, for instance, has been very intolerant to criticisms. And I wonder, where on earth has that happened? You have to allow people to have a say in how they are governed. So what the APC spokesman, Felix Moka, said, that Peter Obi has crossed the line, was quite unfortunate, quite condemnable, and I expect the presidencies to rebuke him. And even if it means removing him from that position, it means he doesn't have any reason to be the APC spokesman. That's number one. Because I expected government spokespeople. President Tinubu has some of the largest, he has about the largest number of spokespeople. He has SA Media, SA Communications, SA Public Policy, SA this, those are special advisors, all right? Now, These people can come to the television and sit at a table, sit at a round table, if it means doing that, and take on policies, brief Nigerians on what the government, they can allocate sectors. Say, you speak on the environment, you speak on the economy, you speak on education, you speak on that. Tell Nigerians what the president is doing. Like this tax bill, that the tax reform bills that have been an issue nationwide. I expected the spokespeople of President Tinubu to hold a town hall meeting with Nigerians, select across board, engage Nigerians, let Nigerians know the benefits of the tax reforms. That's what government communication experts do. But when you begin to hurl insults on the opposition, when you begin to call out the opposition and say, look, you are crossing the boundary. No one is crossing the boundary. Felix Morka needs to be told that Peter Obi did not cross any line. He was within the boundaries of criticism, and that's what should be. Telling the government, you have not done well in this area, you have done well in this area, you can do better in this area. That's what opposition does. And Peter Obi is very well within the boundaries of what he said.
Okay, I think another issue is the quality of persons. You are a media person, so the quality of persons that are recruited also matters. But don't you think they do all of this in trying to build, protect the reputation of their principals? Because they are being hired as image makers.
No, the APC National Publicity Secretary is not the spokesman for the federal government. He is not the spokesman for the president. The president has an array of spokespeople. They know what the government is. They are insiders. They are front row people. When I was in government, Governor Samuel Otom will be going into Exco and I will be there. I will sit by the side in Exco. I wasn't a member of the Executive Council, but by the virtue of my position as his spokesman, I was always allowed to be in Exco, and I was given memos, those memos that were shared to commissioners and special advisors who were members of Exco. I had the privilege of getting the memos so that I will know what government is doing. By the time I'm going to speak to the media, I will be informed of why government took this decision and that. So these guys who are with Mr. President, they should know what the federal government is doing. And it is their job to come and speak to Nigerians that the tax, for instance, the tax reforms that the president is bringing are for the benefit of everyone. You do not allow gaps. The same thing is happening at the state level, where the government spokespeople just sit in their AC rooms, in their AC offices, and wait for the opposition to take the field. Okay? The opposition to run the streets, and then they come out and begin to insult everybody, begin to run down, to send insults left and right. No, you should engage positively. When I was the spokesman for the governor, when I was the chief press secretary to the governor, I established platforms even on social media. I remember creating one platform, one forum on Facebook, which I called chat with the CPS, and I will give a time, then sit there and engage the people. People will be asking questions about the Otom administration, and I will be answering those questions in real time. Real time means live, being there. You're not people. In government communication, you don't wait until people run down your government, then you come and insult them from morning till night. No one should be doing that. Okay. That is poor communication skills. And this is happening at the federal level. It is happening at the state level. I just gave an example of Benue, where the spokespeople are waiting for the opposition to talk about their government. Then they come every morning and insult everyone from morning till night. You don't do that. Now, the government spokespeople at the federal level have not got it right at all. By insulting Peter Obi, they have got it wrong, number one. They have left the room for the APC spokesperson, whose job it is not. And I repeat, the APC spokesperson has no duty going to take on the opposition candidate. No. Now it is government. This is the point. Now it is government. It is not campaigns. So the government spokespeople know exactly what the government is doing. they should be the one to engage the opposition. Okay?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
That's clear enough. Okay, so now we take another point very closely related to that. Woman who cursed Sheyi Tinubu, IG gets 10 million naira bail. So still on the line of criticism. You know, a woman spoke about Sheyi Tinubu, and she's been arrested. And then recently I also observed that defamation has been criminalized. A lot of people, cases recently have been, prosecuted in court. Some sentenced, some not sentenced, some just being locked up in jail on account of defamation. Is this right in a democratic setting like ours?
This one is a bit dicey. When someone you don't go personal. If you because the first lady is a wife of the president. Yes, by the virtue of that position, she is a public person. Right? But that doesn't make her less human. She is human. She is someone's wife. She is someone's daughter. Now, you have no right to insult her. You have no right to curse, to place curses on her. The fact that she is in a public eye doesn't make her less of an ordinary person. She's a human being. So if the woman who did that is found to be guilty, the law should take its course. The fact that someone is the president or the governor of the state or a minister or a commissioner or a chairman of a local government doesn't make the person open to baseless attacks or to curses. No, that's unacceptable. But if the person is also innocent, then the law, that's why the law is there. The law should usually take its course.
All right, so Nigerians should know the landing point between criticism and insult or personal attacks. That's what Chief Akase is saying this morning. All right, so we move to the next paper, which is the blueprint. The blueprint is our next paper, and it says we wrote 6 governors. Only Obasani Sanwo-Olu met us. Said others have no time for us. Governors Forum invited us, cancelled appointments 4 times. Oladele, and this is coming from the Presidential Committee on Tax Reforms.
Okay, now that is where the problem is. When this issue of tax reform started, I remember that governors, especially the 19 governors of the North, were the ones who let me use this word, went to the streets in protest against the tax reforms that the North was about to be shortchanged. Now, the Presidential Committee on Tax Reforms has come out to say they wrote to all the governors. Okay? To get their input, to get their memo on the tax reforms, because the tax reforms are going to affect, whether we like it or not, they are going to affect everyone in this country. Now, you are agitating that President Tinubu is not doing well with the tax reforms. He wants to take everything to the south. He wants the northern region to be shortchanged. This is resource control. This is restructuring without consultation and all of that. Now, the presidency has set up a committee to engage everyone. The governors are representing the people. You are a governor of a state. You are like a president of that state. And now an opportunity has come for you to put forward. I expected the governors of the of the 19 states of the North to quickly hold a meeting and go back to their various states and hold town hall meetings with their people, stakeholders meetings, including every strata of the state should be represented at those meetings. Let the people have a say. Explain to them. You can summarize the tax reforms, right, in pamphlets, and let people, even Okada people on the streets, should know that, okay, this is what the government is saying. How is it going to affect an Okada man on the streets of Makurdi, for instance? When you hold such town hall meetings with those pamphlets and leaflets, the people will now give them those things to study for 3 or 4 days. before you hold the stakeholders meetings. And when you do that, the people will now come to the meeting with their own informed positions on what the tax reforms are saying, because you would have succeeded in enlightening them on what the federal government is saying. Well, how does the tax reform affect a public servant, a civil servant in Benue State, for instance? Now, this is what I expected the governors of the northern states to do. Hold town hall meetings, hold stakeholders meetings, brief your people. This is why we are agitating that the tax reforms should not happen the way the federal government is saying. And when you do that, you now you revert to the Presidential Committee on Tax Reforms and tell the committee that this is the feedback we have got from our people. And so, we agree with the federal government or we disagree with the federal government in this area and that area and this area. This is what governance is about. Governance is not about flying in private jets, in running long convoys. Governance is about engaging the people. Governance is about carrying the people along. Let the people know. Because at the end of the day, those decisions that are made in the high offices affect the common person. So until you do that, you will just be pretending to be leading. You will not be leading the people. And now they have failed to get back to give memos, to send memos to the Presidential Committee on Tax Reforms. Now, when the tax reforms are implemented, there will be the same governors to come and start complaining that he's a Yoruba man, he doesn't love us because we are not. Because we are not. It's a lie. Oh. It's not because you are not. It's because you neglected your own duty as a governor. You did not respond when the opportunity presented itself. That's what it means.
Well, Chief Akase, you say Governors Forum invited us, council appointments 4 times. Well, do you see this kind of, I don't want to call it a boycott, but do you see this kind of arrangement, having a negative effect on the tax reform piece in terms of implementation?
I don't understand. You mean
maybe because they have not been able to meet with the committee at the end of the day?
Committee.
Yes, at
that's
the end
what
of
I just said. That because they have neglected their duty, maybe they went enjoying Christmas and New Year. The governors, I mean, the 19 states of the north.
Is it going to affect?
I am referring to the north because they are the ones who protested, right? The northern governors are the ones who protested, and now an opportunity presented itself for them to send memoranda to that committee that, look, we agree with Mr. President here and here and here on the tax reforms. We disagree here, and these are our reasons. Now, when you failed to do that, maybe you weren't enjoying too much during the festive season, and that committee is rounding off its assignment. And when the committee present, now they have said only Ubasani of Kaduna State,
Adina and Sanwo-Olu of Lagos,
that sent memoranda, right? Now, how are you coming? What are you coming to tell your people? And if you protest after now, if you protest that the federal government is hijacking resources of this country and sending them to the south, then the people will not listen to you because you had an opportunity to make a formal protest and put it on record. When you meet with the people in a town hall meeting, I have been to stakeholders meetings hosted by a governor, and I know that some people may not want, some stakeholders may not want to go to the media and speak, but when you give them an opportunity in a town hall meeting, in a stakeholders meeting, they tell you the truth. Because they know that is a closed door session. They open up to you. Some of them are very experienced. Former permanent secretaries, former commissioners, those people who have experienced governance at the highest level. They will tell you the truth that, Mr. Governor, here and here, this is what should be happening. All right? But when you allow them to go to the public, they will not do so because they want to remain private. But when you invite them to a town hall meeting, they speak to you. They tell you. You may learn things at such fora in a way that you never imagined. But the governors of the 19 states of the north failed. I didn't see any of them on that list.
No.
And I'm shocked. These are people who are complaining that President Tinubu wants to hijack everything and take to Lagos and Port Harcourt. And here you have an opportunity to put it on record that you are not comfortable with certain sections of the tax reforms, but you failed. So at the end of the day, what are you coming to tell your people? This is the crux of the matter.
It's okay. Abuja school explosion kills 2 students, injures 4. Quite an unfortunate one there. Police confirm 18 injured in Port Harcourt gas explosion.
Quite unfortunate.
Quite unfortunate. And I think this is happening in Abuja, the capital. And
well, I saw that story and I felt really sad that we thought we had gone past the age of the era of bombs, dropping in parts of this country, and for this to be happening, it's quite unfortunate. And I feel so sad, and I sympathize with families who were affected by this incident. But I hope, and I am optimistic that the federal government will rise to the occasion. The minister of the FCT, former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, is a proactive governor, proactive minister. And I believe that by now he would have held a series of Security Council meetings with the people who matter, the Commissioner of Police of the FCT, the DSS, the Civil Defense, and every security agency head in the FCT to make sure that incident does not occur, because we don't want a repeat of 2014, and early parts of 2015 when bombs were dropping in parts of this country. That was a dark era in the history of Nigeria. We don't want to go back to that state.
Okay, at this note, we'll take a break, and when we're back, we continue with what the papers are saying.
Keep watching Agate Television.
Keep watching Agate Televisions.
Big shout out to Agate Television, Sky's your limit.
Keep watching Agate Television.
Keep watching Agate Television, one of the best in the whole city of Makurdi. Peace.
Hello, my people. Keep watching Agate Television. Watch out for more.
Agate Television, we love you.
Better shout out to Agate Television.
Agate Television, you're the best. Shout out, peace.
Shout out to Agate Television. I love you. You're the best.
Best channel, all the fun, the live shows, the best of the best you can get.
Agate TV, one of the best rising televisions in North Central Nigeria, which everybody should actually look out for.
Welcome back. This is T Newspaper Headlines Review on Agate Television. You can also listen to us on Agate Radio 95.5 in a frequency modulation band. My name is Fanen Kwanum, and I'm in the studio with Tevi Rakase, a seasoned journalist who is analyzing what the papers are saying this morning. All right, don't forget to join us on our social media handles. Facebook is also live, Agate Radio TV. You can also join us on YouTube on Agate Radio TV. www.agateradio.com is or tv.com is also a platform you could listen and then watch us live. All right, so getting back to the papers, we have the Guardian newspaper right now, and it comes to this headline: 3 million barrels pot. And then we have 80 bandits killed in Katsina as hoodlums levied Zamfara communities. MDAs defend spending as National Assembly eyes January ending for budget approval. Local government that's a Kika local government court orders Okpebolo House to maintain status quo. Then we have Avril Makinde vows. And Lassa fever, NCDC experts raise alarm, advocate prevention, early target 49.7 trillion naira budget rests on new FID secures oil assets. Towards the end of last year, we celebrated the news that the Warri refinery is finally back to life. In addition to the Port Harcourt refinery that was announced earlier last year, but my worry was that the Port Harcourt refinery was announced to be live. Then some few days later, we got the report that it was just some few percent, maybe 70% that was complete. And then up to now, I'm not sure we've begun loading crude oil or petroleum products from that refinery. And then now the cheering news of the Warri refinery came out last week. So what are your thoughts for all of this?
I think that is it not better that we talk less on these things and allow the actions to speak? We love to talk too much in this country. What is NNPCL? Why is it in a hurry to tell us that yes, this is happening when this is not happening yet? Why the hurry? Who is under pressure? By the way, President Asiwaju Tinubu has done well in trying to revamp the refineries of this country. Over the decades, Nigerians have been yearning for this to happen. That if you revive Nigeria's refineries, even if you don't build new ones yet, but if you revive the old ones and make them functional, they are refining Nigeria's crude, then you would have saved the country a lot of losses, a lot of cost in importation of petroleum products. Now, the presidency seems to be on the way to doing that. So I expect agencies of government involved in this process to rest a while, to let them exercise a bit of caution instead of putting Nigerians. The hope is becoming too much of it. It shouldn't be for the sake of it, because look, 4 years is like 4 days in governance. If you don't know, when you are sworn in as a president or a governor, you may think you have 4,000 years. No, 4 years will be to you like 4 weeks. So instead of speaking and saying, look, this is happening, no, let Nigerians see it. Once the people see it, they will be the ones to talk about it. You don't need to even talk. They will be the ones to talk about it. If why not wait a while? Allow that to happen. When it happens and there is fuel everywhere and on the streets to celebrate the government, that's what it is. Nigerians are good people. Nigerians love good things. When they see good things, when they see good governance, they celebrate. Yes, fuel is beginning to, the cost per liter is beginning to come down a bit, and we expect that if possible, this 2025, Mr. President should push it down to 500 naira. Okay? If we go to, for instance, 500 naira, then we'll begin to hope that one day it will drop to as low as 200 naira or even less. And that is when the El Dorado that we were promised would have been seen and not just being talked about, not just being reported on the pages of newspaper, because Nigerians would have seen it. And the trickle-down effect of that will be in the homes of every Nigerian, because people will go to the market and buy products at reduced prices, and that the economy will pick up by itself. Because once the energy problem is fixed, whether it is electricity or it is whatever, once energy is a live wire of the economy. So once you fix the energy issues, you have tackled more than 70% of the problems of the economy. So I wish Mr. President well.
Now, MDAs defend spending as National Assembly eyes January ending for budget approval, and that defense is beginning today by ministries, departments, and agencies. You know, a lot of issues have been raised about that budget. You know, acquiring computers, acquiring new vehicles, and there's so many other extravagance that were raised in that budget. So as the MDAs begin defense of that budget today, what are your expectations from the National Assembly?
Budgets have become rituals in this country. I talked about this before. You find presidents and governors being so. After that, nothing happens. Only a few leaders, only a few governors, only a few presidents ask questions at the end of the first quarter of the fiscal year. What have we done with the implementation of the budget? You hardly hear them ask these questions. Only a few of them do, and those who do, we usually get it right. Now, it shouldn't be a ritual. It shouldn't be that we are going to present a budget. We have presented a budget of 49 trillion. So what? How much of that are you going to implement? How? By at the end of the fiscal year, before, do you know that by July, August, they have started preparing a new budget? By July, they have started compiling, because those guys in the ministries, those accountants, cashiers, and all those other experts in the ministries, that is their job. Whether you like it at the state level, at the federal level, once they are hitting the half of the year, they have started preparing notes for next year's budget, because it is also part of their portfolio, and that they also make money from it. So the things, implementation has not gone halfway, and they are already lifting items from the ongoing budget, ongoing fiscal year to the next year. Who told you that these ones will not be implemented? But they know, of course, that those things will not be implemented. They are there for the sake of being there on the budget. So the experts in the ministries know, at the state level and the federal level, once it is getting to July, they'll begin to lift those items that they know will not be touched to the next budget. And it becomes like a ceremony.
Okay.
At the end, they will still present it, and it will be passed, the ceremonies will be done, everybody will be clapping that, oh, a new budget has come. Hey, we're happy that, Mr. President presented a brilliant speech at the National Assembly during the budget presentation. Kudos to Mr. President. But that's where it ends. Okay. It happens at the state level as well.
So what would you suggest?
I would suggest that the federal government and states should stop looking at the budgets as mere ceremonies. A president should, at the end of the first quarter of the year, call his finance minister and other members of the finance team, the central bank governor, the permanent secretaries under the central bank, and the finance minister, and other members of the finance team, the economic team. Sit with them and ask them, where are we in the implementation of the budget? They should give you an assessment, and if they do not satisfy you with how far the budget implementation has gone, summon all the ministers, let them give you account of how much of that budget has been implemented. And if it has not, you are not satisfied, you can query each of these people, and if they do not provide satisfactory answers, you sack them. Until we begin to do this, budgets will remain ceremonies, rituals, where people go, when they go to the assembly to present, of course you have to look at the assembly members. They are going to deliberate on this budget. So what are you going to do to them? It's not just, it doesn't, if you don't see them, it doesn't just happen. They will dump it by the side. So the country suffers. So I expect that at the end of every quarter, from January to April, March, April, the president should call his finance team, his economic team, and query them on the budget implementation. The governors should do the same.
Of course, that's spot
And
analysis.
this will go to the last quarters of the year, or the fiscal year. And when you do that, everyone will sit up. All the ministers, all the commissioners will sit up and know that, okay, we put this in the budget for this year. It has not been done. Let's remind Mr. President, let's remind Mr. Governor that this has to be done. This has to be done. And the governor and the president should also have a copy of that budget and be flipping through the pages. Usually they are given summaries of the budget. Look at those quick wins and long wins of the budget. What can we do quickly? This we said, for instance, in agriculture, we said we will look at this, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. So what have we done so far? What can we do? Okay, oh, this item is here. This, if you have it, if you have the copy, keep it in your car. Be looking at it every day. Take a look at it. That is the only way to live this ceremonial thing that we do. And I have been saying that each governor should drop a copy of his blueprint in his car. Put it in all your cars, your vehicles, on your convoy. Every day you are moving about, carry that blueprint. What you promised to do for the people. Take a look at it. What have you done so far? And what do you think? Because the answer in agriculture, we said we'll do this in education. We said we'll do this. Have we done this? No. Call the commissioner immediately. Honorable Commissioner of Education, we promised the people that we will do this for them. Where are we? The commissioner must respond. And when he fails to respond, then you know he's incompetent.
Yeah, actually, even on a personal note, if you intend to do well, you have to keep evaluation mechanisms.
Yes,
hand in hand.
Very
with
important
your
in governance.
All
very,
right.
very important.
Well, thank you very much. And then moving on, we have another one here. I'd like us to speak to Nigerians, especially from our part, about this. Lassa fever, NCDC experts raise alarm, advocate prevention, early treatment. And then the NCDC has reported, a surge in cases, especially in Edo State. And then we want to still remind Nigerians about some of the causes of these diseases. Good percent comes from rodents, rats.
Yeah. To first of all, send hotlines, advertise hotlines, phone lines that people can report instances, those cases.
Okay, education or health, Ministry of Health.
I mean Ministry of Health, rather.
Okay.
Ministry of Health should set up desk or even task force. It should be a task force team that will be receiving calls immediately. Cases of this are noticed. We did this while Governor Samuel Otom did this when COVID was reported. He immediately set up a team, and that team advertised its hotlines, and the hotlines, people were able to report cases. That's what is done in terms of a pandemic. This one is not a pandemic, but for us to be able to curb it, to be able to stamp it in the bud immediately, I expect the state ministries of health and even local government departments of health should do same. They should collaborate with the state ministry of health and set up mini offices that will be responding to these cases. And if the cases are beyond the local government level, they should refer them immediately to the state level where the tertiary health centers are located.
All right, Nigerians, you should also try as much as possible to avoid rodents, because you don't know which is infected and which is not. All right, so to be on a safer side, just try to avoid rodents. 80 bandits killed in Katsina as hoodlums levied Zamfara communities. I saw this and it was quite disturbing to me. Hoodlums just decide to levy. They are collecting taxes from the people.
Yes,
taxing the people.
It's happening in many states, including Benue State. We have had reports where in Benue State, for instance, our people have to pay to herdsmen, armed herdsmen. If your loved one is dead and you have to go to your community to bury him or her, then you have to pay money to bandits, to herdsmen, to allow you access your ancestral home to be able to bury your loved one. It's quite unfortunate. And I just hope that our security agencies will do more than they are doing. By the way, they are trying. The problem is massive. They are trying, but we have to encourage them to keep doing what they are doing. What is happening in Zamfara? We have had many reports that gold is there, and wherever you find this lucrative mineral resources, insecurity usually hovers around such areas. The same thing is happening in Kwande. And we have deposits, heavy deposits of gold in Kwande. And that's why I understand that some people don't want security to be there, because they love to have illegal activities. So they believe that if you allow security to thrive in such an area, then their illegal activity will not succeed. So, but we keep applauding, we keep clapping for our security men and encouraging them. By the way, they have families as well. Policemen, our military men, and so on, DSS, they also have families. And many of them have lost our people in the various communities where these things happen, to help the security men to do their work. When you see suspicious movements around your community, report to security agencies, and they will be trailed and arrested.
EFCC fires 27 officers over alleged corruptions. Just before we move to the sports stories, and then we'll round off. EFCC fires 27 officers over alleged corruption. What's your comment about this?
Yeah, that's a good one, and I commend the EFCC for doing that. That is purging their own ranks of bad elements, because every organization has its own bad elements. No human organization is free of the bad, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So now that the EFCC has decided to descend on its own ranks and file, it's good to hear, and I expect that the other ones who may still be there, and important organization in this country, and we need it to be there to help to reduce the problems that we've been having. So I commend the EFCC for doing what they just did.
In sports this morning, Iwobi, fifth African to make 50 EPL apps for appearance. P challenges Grealish. We have Akpata sets new targets for Nigerian cricket. Djokovic still has Stroman over deportation. Iwobi, fifth African to make 50 EPL appearances for 3 clubs.
He's one of the most traveled Nigerian internationals. He has moved from one club to another in Europe, especially in England, and that shows that he is good, because if you are not good, you are quicker than you think relegated to either the championship, or you move to another country which league is less lucrative. But Iwobi has been around. He has played for Arsenal, for Everton, and now with Fulham and other clubs. That means he's good. So commendable. And on Osimhen, we who are Manchester United fans are looking forward to having him in Old Trafford this month, or in the summer transfer window. So Osimhen will add value to when he comes back to Europe. If he comes to England, for instance, he would have done wonderfully well, because the league in England is really competitive, and when you are there, people watch you more. For instance, in Nigeria here, we watch the English Premier League very well, and if a player of Nigerian origin is plying his trade in England, people watch him. That's why the likes of Kanu Nwankwo, JJ Okocha, and Yakubu Ayegbeni became popular among fans of Nigerian football, because they were playing in England. So I'm not advertising for the English football, but the truth is, perhaps because Nigeria was colonized by Britain. And London is one of the most traveled cities for Nigerians. So if a player of Nigerian origin is playing in England, our people watch him more
and brings him to the limelight. All right, thank you very much, Chief Teve Akase, for your wonderful analysis.
It's my pleasure always to be here.
All right, that's our program for today. Thank you very much for watching and listening. You can always join us every Tuesday, 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning for newspaper headlines review. And in the meantime, the edition is still on our social media handles. It's on Facebook. The live stream is still on Facebook, and then you can also watch it, a replay, actually, on YouTube, Agate Radio and Television. My name is Fanan Kwanum. Thank you so much for staying tuned.